In reality, most men over 60 years old don't know that the way they drink water, plain water, can be the silent cause of problems such as erectile dysfunction, low energy, and decreased testosterone. It may sound surprising, I know, how something so basic can cause such serious problems. However, after more than 3 decades of treating thousands of men, I can confidently say that it's not always about age, it's about our habits. And one of the most overlooked habits is how we consume water and when we do it. I am Dr. Martina Vega, a specialist in urology and men's health with over 30 years of experience. I have treated men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s who came to my office feeling frustrated, discouraged, and convinced that the best part of their lives was over. But time and again, I have witnessed how simple changes like proper hydration can restore their energy, performance, and confidence in ways they never imagined possible. In today's video, I will reveal 8 powerful science-backed secrets about water and erection that many older men wish they had learned decades ago. These are the same principles I apply with my patients every day. And towards the end of the video, I will share a little-known morning trick that takes just 7 seconds and works hand-in-hand with proper hydration to improve blood flow and sexual performance. Keep watching because this could be the most important video you'll watch all year. Water is the best friend of blood, and erection depends on blood. The first thing we need to understand is blood flow because without it, there will be no erection. And what many men don't know is that blood itself is mostly composed of water. This means that if you are slightly dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker, flows more slowly, and its circulation becomes difficult. And when blood cannot circulate freely, especially to the most important areas, the ability to achieve and maintain an erection is directly affected. Let's analyze this. Dehydration increases blood viscosity similar to syrup, making the heart work harder to pump it. A study by the American Heart Association shows that even mild dehydration can increase blood pressure and reduce the endothelial function of blood vessels, responsible for producing nitric oxide, a key substance for vasodilation and blood flow, especially to the penis. However, the reality is that erection is a hydraulic process. It's all about pressure. Blood needs to enter the penis, fill its cavities, and stay there. But if your blood is too thick, slow, or dense to move properly, that pressure will never be created. You may feel desire, but physically your body cannot rise. Blood is composed of more than 90% water. Therefore, when you are not properly hydrated, even slightly, your blood slows down. Your heart has to work extra hard to make it flow. This means less oxygen and fewer nutrients. The same happens with hormones like testosterone and nitric oxide, resulting in reduced blood flow to the penis. And it's not just my opinion, it's simply human biology. Because even if you are drinking enough water, something else might be sabotaging your performance from within. And this is even more dangerous than poor blood flow. It has to do with a hormone that every man needs and what happens to it when your body goes into survival mode. Let's talk about that now. Dehydration silently reduces testosterone. I clearly remember the day I sat in front of a man named Walter. He was 72 years old, had just been widowed, and lived alone. His mind was clear, his eyes sharp, but his energy was starting to wane. He looked at me and said, "Doctor, I don't feel sick. I just don't feel like myself anymore."
There were no crises or obvious medical emergencies, but something inside him had turned off, and he didn't know why. We talked about his situation. He wasn't taking any important medications, did some exercise, ate well, and wasn't depressed, but he felt a lack of motivation and no real interest in intimacy. And behind all that was a silent fear. Have my best years already passed? I ran some tests and found that his testosterone levels were below normal. Not alarmingly so, but enough to explain how he felt. When I asked him about his water intake, he confessed almost apologetically, "The truth is, I don't drink much." And there was the problem. Most men don't realize that dehydration not only causes fatigue or thirst, it puts the entire system into survival mode. The body begins to conserve energy, protect the most vital organs, regulate temperature, and maintain blood pressure. And anything that is not essential for survival, such as reproduction, sexual desire, muscle development, and testosterone production, is relegated. Testosterone is not only related to sex, it also has to do with motivation, strength, and identity. But when the body feels it lacks water, it turns off that flame to save itself. And the longer you spend dehydrated, that hormonal imbalance becomes your new normal. But that's not all.
There's another enemy that comes with dehydration, cortisol. This is the main stress hormone. When you're dehydrated, cortisol levels rise. And here's the problem. Cortisol and testosterone cannot be at their peak at the same time. When cortisol rises, testosterone decreases. It's like a pendulum, and most men over 60 are stuck on the wrong side of that pendulum. A 2007 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed the relationship between dehydration and increased cortisol levels. When cortisol rises, the body prioritizes vital functions, and the testosterone production process is suppressed. Research from Harvard Medical School has also pointed out that this hormonal imbalance not only affects sexual desire, but also overall energy and bone health. Going back to Walter's case, I didn't give him testosterone or hormone replacement therapy. Instead, I recommended something much simpler, a hydration habit. He started drinking water in the morning, carried a bottle with him throughout the day, and took small sips regularly instead of waiting to be thirsty. He avoided caffeine in the afternoon, alcohol before bed, and began listening to his body better. 4 weeks later, he walked into my office with renewed vitality. "Doctor," he told me, "I feel much more alert, I smile more, I even feel like going on dates." That spark had returned, and all he needed was to give his body what it had been silently asking for: water. But even if you're drinking water every day, there's something most men don't understand correctly. And it's not about the quantity, it's about how you drink it. This mistake could be the reason your body still doesn't respond as you expect. Let me explain what it's about. Most men drink water incorrectly. When I first explained to men that the way they drink water affects their ability to have erections, the truth is, most of them laughed at me. I'll never forget Mike, a retired truck driver in his late 60s, a big, straightforward man. He looked at me, laughed, and said, "Doctor, it's just water. What am I supposed to do? Pray for it?" I smiled and replied, "No, Mike, but you should respect it." That's where many men make a mistake. They think drinking water is as simple as emptying a bottle when they're thirsty. But the reality is that when you feel thirsty, your body is already dehydrated. And when you drink large amounts of water at once, especially very cold water, your body can't absorb it properly. Instead of hydrating the cells, that water quickly passes through your system, overloading the kidneys and expelling important minerals. It's like pouring a bucket of water over a dry sponge. It doesn't absorb, it just spills over the sides. The body can only absorb a certain amount of water per hour. Drinking too fast, especially cold water, can shock the digestive system, activating the sympathetic response, fight or flight, rather than the parasympathetic response, rest and digest. This reduces the effectiveness of absorption and can cause excessive diuresis, eliminating important minerals like sodium, potassium, and magnesium. These electrolyte minerals are fundamental for nerve function, muscle contraction, and maintaining blood pressure, all essential for a healthy sexual response. The body prefers consistency. It wants you to take small sips of water consistently throughout the day. This way, it maintains blood volume, keeps your nervous system balanced, and helps regulate hormones. Even the way you sit makes a difference. Drinking while sitting instead of standing, or moving sends signals to the parasympathetic nervous system, putting your body in rest and digest mode, allowing for better absorption. And here's something most men have never heard. Even letting the water mix with your saliva for a few seconds before swallowing helps your body process it more effectively. It's a small, ancient habit backed by modern science. And here's something important. Even if you're drinking water the right way, you're likely still doing things throughout the day that are nullifying all your efforts. Small habits that seem harmless but are silently extracting water from your system and destroying your progress. Let's look at those habits next. There's nothing more frustrating than doing the right thing and not seeing results. I see this often with my older patients. Men who commit to drinking more water, change their habits, and really try to take care of themselves, but come back a few days later saying, "Doctor, I feel a little better, but not as I expected." Like many men, Harold starts his morning with a strong cup of coffee. At the end of the day, he enjoys a glass of wine with dinner. After a juicy orange or some slices of watermelon, he drinks a large glass of water. There doesn't seem to be any problem until we look at it through the lens of hydration. Caffeine and alcohol are diuretics, meaning they actually draw water out of your system, increasing urine production and dehydrating you more than you realize. You might think you're replenishing fluids, but if you drink water immediately after coffee or wine, you're just running behind and never really balancing things out. For example, 1 cup of coffee can make you lose the same amount of water or even more. The World Health Organization, WHO, recommends drinking the same amount of water or double what you've consumed in coffee or wine to compensate for that loss. Then, there's the issue of timing. Drinking water immediately after consuming high water content fruits, like oranges, grapes, or watermelon, can dilute your digestive enzymes and cause bloating. When this happens, your body becomes less efficient at absorbing nutrients, and the water you drink loses some of its benefits. As for drinking water after eating fruits, diluting digestive enzymes can lead to indigestion and reduced absorption of vitamins and minerals from food, thereby weakening the body's nutritional chain. Even an act as harmless as drinking too much water too quickly, what we call overhydration, can also flush out important minerals like sodium, magnesium, and potassium. These minerals are essential for nerve function, muscle contraction, and, of course, your sexual response. It's not just a guess, it's biology. And in the next part, I'll show you exactly why. Let's see what science has to say about it. The benefits of proper hydration, backed by science for sexual health. In fact, research from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, in the United States, has shown that maintaining good hydration helps improve endothelial function, promoting the natural production of nitric oxide in the body, a key factor for erection. Even mild dehydration of just 2% of body weight can reduce concentration ability, short-term memory, and reaction times, aspects that affect confidence and overall performance. Studies support what many men experience directly. Hydration improves blood viscosity, allowing for smoother circulation. It keeps organs like the liver and kidneys functioning efficiently, which is essential for hormonal regulation. A well-hydrated brain functions more clearly, muscles contract more efficiently, and well-hydrated blood carries oxygen and testosterone exactly where your body needs it most, especially during intimate moments. Even a 1% or 2% reduction in hydration levels can negatively affect mood, memory, and concentration. But there's something else that makes hydration even more important as we age. Something few doctors mention, but all men over 60 should understand. It has to do with how aging changes the rules, and why your body can no longer afford to overlook it. Let's talk about that now. As we age, the thirst mechanism becomes less sensitive, and the kidneys also lose their ability to concentrate urine, making dehydration easier. Additionally, the total amount of water in the body decreases from 60% in young people to 50 to 55% in older adults. This makes people over 60 more prone to dehydration. Many common medications that older adults often take, such as diuretics or blood pressure medications, can also increase the risk of dehydration. And there's something else you need to know. A simple 7-second habit that perfectly complements proper hydration to unlock real and lasting performance. Let me show you what it's about. All you need is your breath and your intention. This technique is simple. Inhale slowly and deeply through your nose, hold for a few seconds, and then exhale gently, also through your nose. This mechanism is called nasal nitric oxide release. Nitric oxide is a powerful signaling molecule that helps dilate blood vessels, allowing blood to circulate more freely. Studies published in the Journal of Urology have highlighted the role of nitric oxide in initiating and maintaining an erection, as it is the main trigger for the process of blood vessel dilation in the penis. Breathing deeply through your nose not only increases nitric oxide, but also activates the parasympathetic nervous system, helping the body relax and optimizing the physiological response. Most men over 60 have reduced levels of nitric oxide. This is one of the reasons why blood flow decreases with age, even when the heart remains healthy. But with just a few intentional breaths each morning, right after your first glass of water, you can activate this system and greatly enhance your circulation. It's gentle, natural, and works with your body, not against it. Daily hydration program for a stronger erection. One of the most common questions I get from men over 60 is, "Doctor, I understand that hydration is important, but tell me exactly what I should do." That's why I've developed a clear daily hydration routine, built not only on science but also on success stories from men I've treated in my practice. This approach is based on general recommendations from organizations like the Mayo Clinic, which suggest around 3.7 liters, 15.5 cups, of fluids per day for men and 2.7 liters, 11.5 cups, for women, depending on activity and climate. Building the foundation of strength starts with water, so I gave him this routine. First thing in the morning, before coffee or food, drink a full glass of room temperature water, slowly while sitting. Within the next 2 hours, drink another glass, this time with a pinch of sea salt to help your body retain essential minerals. Around lunchtime, have 1 or 2 more glasses, again sitting and without rushing. In the afternoon, add another glass, especially if you've consumed caffeine or have been outdoors in the sun. Early in the evening, drink a final glass, stopping at least an hour before bed to avoid disrupting your sleep. Now you've discovered that hydration plays a much more important role in sexual health and overall vitality than most doctors have told you. You've learned that blood flow, the basis of a strong erection, depends on diluted, fluid blood that moves easily, and blood is composed of more than 90% water. If you find this video content useful and meaningful, share it, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss more practical, science-backed tips designed specifically for men over 60. Start today. Start simply. Regain your energy. Regain your strength. Regain your body, glass by glass. And if you're ready to take the next step to keep moving forward and become a stronger, more vital version of yourself, stay with me. There will be much more science, more strategies, more truths that no one else is telling you. But for now, remember this. Stay hydrated and maintain your performance.